Detroit played an important role in the groundbreaking career of musician George Clinton and his group, Parliament-Funkadelic. The city's United Sound Systems recording studio was home to Clinton's P-Funk lab for nearly 20 years. American Black Journal contributor Cecelia Sharpe of 90.9 WRCJ caught up with Clinton recently at the Detroit Opera House. She spoke with him, and fellow funk artist Maurice Pirahnahead heard about recording at United Sound and producing music that became a cornerstone of African-American identity.
What up, though?
What up, though? What attracted you to Detroit?
Man, Motown Records.
Motown Records.
Motown Records. If you anywhere in this country from 59 to 69, this was where it was at. This was heaven. For music being made was concerned, this is where everybody wanted to be.
And how were you a part of Motown? Where were you in the mix?
I bugged them to death. We auditioned at Motown. Martha Reeves auditioned us. Wow. And she was a secretary. She hadn't even had a hit record herself yet.
Wow.
She auditioned us for Mickey Stevenson. We didn't make it then, you know. We wasn't tall enough. We wasn't, you know, small. We were little short ones and, you know. So, but we was from New Jersey, so that wasn't, well, we weren't from Detroit. We drove out here to audition. But I wasn't giving up. And then I came out here to audition for Mr. Wingate. Ed Wingate, he owned Golden World Records.
Golden World, yeah.
You know, they had the Dramatics and Edwin Starr and J.J. Barnes. That was the second big company in Detroit at the time. Got a job out there, and we ended up doing a record called I Want to Testify.
Revelot.
Yeah, Revelot for LeBaron Taylor. And we did a record for him, and it was Testified. It was a hit. Yeah. We didn't make it to Motown, but by the time we got the hit, Motown was just getting ready to move to California. So we realized that, we late. We got here, but we late. We put out Testify, it was a hit. The next record was All Your Goodies Are Gone. You could tell we was influenced by something other than Motown on that one. We immediately tried to see what the Beatles were doing with Sgt. Pepper and all of that English invasion. So we started changing right then. Right after Testify, we started changing.
I want to shift gears and jump into your time at United Sound Studio.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That was the fun day.
Those some fun days.
Yeah.
You made United Sound your home for about 20 years. Studio A became the P-Funk Lab.
Yeah.
What made United Sound Studio so special that you stayed there so long?
I know the sound. I mean, it's just the sound. In the history of people that recorded it prior to us, I mean, it went back to the 40s and stuff. Yeah. They did radio commercials, so they were pretty much the sound of radio throughout the country. You didn't know it, but that was the studio did most of the commercials for everything between here and Chicago. General Motors, Fords, everybody did their commercials there.
Yeah.
So it had a relationship to the radio that people didn't even know. Not only that, Motown recorded there prior to their own studio. And when they couldn't get into the studio, United was their choice. And it had the same kind of vibe as Motown had. It had a little more bottom though, but it had the same vibe, especially when we came there and with Bootsy. Bootsy had a bass that had each string on the bass had its own output.
Yeah.
He had a track for everything. United, we had a special sound that no matter what we did, I mean, you can just walk in there and not thinking something was anything, and when you finish like Atomic Dog, that was a track being played backwards. I just got on there and start talking, and next thing I know, it had that magic on it that no other place could do.
Pirahna, I want to get your take. What was your intro into United Sound? And
it was around 82, 83. I was, danking around on the east side, learning to play with cats in the neighborhood. We were staying out of trouble because there was a lot of trouble that you can get into on the east side of Detroit. Bootsy had this group called Godmama. It was a lady named Cynthia Gertie and Tony. And she grabbed us. It's like, I'm going to take you to see a studio. And she was working for Don Davis at the time. And we went over there, and I think it was Greg Ward or Jim Vitti who said, George isn't here yet. So Don was like, yeah, just go down there and just check the studio out. Vitti was showing us around and things like that. I think you and Chong came in. After that, I was just like, wait a minute. I just met this guy who owns a bank and runs a music business, and Dr. Funkenstein. That's what I want to do. It became a thing for family. That's always been the P-Funk lab. You know what I mean? Learn to record with you know, that guy Italian, the Jim Video.
Yeah,
you know,
sound.
Yeah, just how to do that. Cutting tape. Dude was slicing tape and doing edits and things like that. So you know what I mean? That's what we saw. All of that and the disc.
And the disc.
Yeah. You realize you can do whatever in a studio. I mean, like whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? How y'all used to do them claps?
Oh yeah.
Live clap.
Live claps.
Live
Yeah.
claps.
And they thought it was machine.
And we would do it for 10 minutes. I mean, you didn't. Nowadays you can do 2 bars,
You
and
did clip,
loop
cut,
it
paste it.
Yeah.
digitally. No, back then you had to do it. Flashlights, you had to do it for like 7 minutes, and your hands can't get tired.
You got to maintain the
You
energy.
got to make so only certain people could do it. You know, you can't miss one because the sound has to be constant, and that's what with Flashlight was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I want to jump into showing you an album. You take it and tell me your United Sound memory. I noticed that also the hand clappers did get credit on these albums.
Oh yeah, we gave hand claps credit.
Yeah.
Like I said, people want to get funked up. Like that, I was imitating Frankie Crocker, the New York disc jockey. Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There's nothing wrong. You know, so I was into R&B DJs at the time. Mothership Connection. I was trying to do an album with one story line all the way through. We did it on Motor Booty Affair. Most of the songs relate to the same story. We got thrown off track on this one because some of the tracks sound so good. We had to put them in there anyway. Then, well, of course, tear the roof off the sucker. And what was good about that, we were able to get it on CKLW here if we take off, tear the roof off the mother sucker. CKLW said, we'll put it on if you tear the roof off the mother sucker. And once we did that, it was all over.
Yeah.
Biggest memory from this album?
Clones of Dr. Funkenstein. Wow, this is a good one. I got on a plane in Dallas, Texas. And when I got off, I had to get on a train. It was the first day they used the trains to go from one terminal to the next.
Yeah.
When I got on there was a book on the seat of the train, and it said, The Clones. Faces, 2 faces, 1 face in the same person. I thought the book come with the train, you know, it was the first day of the train. It just makes sense. So I opened it up and it was talking about Steve Swanson, and this doctor was cloning salamanders, taking one and making hundreds of them, that you will be able to eventually one day be able to clone people and blah, blah, blah. Then I realized this sounds like it's serious. And so when I got to Portland, Oregon, I went to the library because you know I'm trying to find different concepts. Now this sounds interesting. I go to the library and asked them, was there anything on cloning? The lady told me, she said, due to the freedom of information, we're not allowed to give books out, books on those. It was taboo at the time. Mm-hmm. So that, of course, as soon as you say taboo, you really got me going.
Yes.
Now.
But you know,
She said you can actually get a book called Chariot of the Gods.
Wow.
Or The Isle of Dr. Moreau. I got Chariot of the Gods, and the whole album is this.
Wow.
That's what.
So the concept was based upon stuff that you read that was science fiction.
That was science fiction.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's deep. So now that's the way we dressed in school. When I was in school, tailor-made suits.
Okay, the tailor-made suits.
You know, all of that.
Just slick.
A friend of mine was trying to show how much he could be deep with us, and he was just getting with us. So he just wrote on a note, IntelliKey. And it had a nice word and ring to it, but what does it mean? And he said, some entity reaching its maximum potential as opposed, to something. And as opposed to placebo, he said, sounds good. So that became Funkenstein versus the placebo syndrome. Flashlight is the weird one because that was Bernie playing bass on the synthesizer as opposed to Bootsy playing bass.
That was the first time that happened.
First time that happened. Really happened like that.
And Jewish
melody, right?
That was
Bar mitzvah.
my friend's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
I remember this bar mitzvah. He was like, I'm like,
And it just came back
it
to you
just came
during
out.
that
I didn't even
moment.
think
That's
of
crazy.
It's just, okay, that fit that, and it worked. He lived right down the street, went to school together, and his mother, George, Myron, come in for soup and sandwiches. Your bar mitzvah. I didn't know what a bar mitzvah was,
Dang.
but that was his thing. I said, okay. So when I finally said it in a magazine maybe a couple of years ago, it went viral.
Last one.
Okay, this is
the
a
last
good
one
one.
here, yeah.
So see, this is 1982 going to 83.
Wow.
This was the first one that I did on my own name.
Oh man.
So I did this record under George Clinton.
The first time you used
The first
your
time I
name.
used my name, period, on the record. We put out Loopzilla
Don't
first.
touch that radio.
People loved it.
Bad record.
But so immediately Tom McDowell took off without even saying anything.
Yes.
That went crazy, and it was all over. To this day, it's still like that.
One of the
It
first
is.
people to play that was the Electrifying Mojo.
Yeah.
And when we heard it, you know, it was like, yo, what was that?
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. I mean, and it was such a jam because of the backwards drum thing in there.
What was going on with that?
Yeah.
The tape was on back, we was putting an effect on it, and I'm into my own. I was getting high at the time, didn't know what I was doing. I busted in there and started rapping, you know, like thinking they was trying to record without me.
Yeah.
You weren't about to miss your spot.
What about the Mrs.
No.
And
what-
once I got in, I didn't know what to talk about. So you hear me? This is a story of famous dogs. For the dog that chases his tail will be busy. I'm trying to think of something to say.
Yeah.
And why must I feel like that? Why must? And I did it just like that. And they left it like that and sang harmony around
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
But you know, I mean, it was just like one of these things, man. Y'all had such a magic.
All recorded at United
Oh, you
Sound
recorded at
Studio.
United.